That song, don't you? Summertime, the living is easy. If that is the truth, we can all affirm, yay, life is like a stroll in the park on a sunny afternoon. If that is true. If life is easy. And I'm not going to ask you to affirm that because I suspicion that your life isn't always easy. I know mine isn't. Life is easy, but life's also difficult. Life is good, but life is also bad. Life is happy, but life is awful sad. Life is it all. It is a conglomeration of emotions spread across the vast expanse of experiences that we call our lives. It is it all. Think of life as a game. Say baseball, for instance. Baseball has certain principles that one can practice to become proficient at the game, as does life. Now, my Uncle Theo was a baseball player. And when I was 7 or 8 years old, on Sunday afternoon, he would come over to our house. We'd go out in the backyard and we'd play catch. Over and over and over, he would throw me the ball and I'd throw it back to him. Well, one day at school, they announced that Little League was going to have tryouts. I was very excited about this. I called my Uncle Theo, he got excited, and together we decided that I would be a first baseman because I'm left-handed. He even went out and bought me a brand new glove. So the day of tryouts, my first scrimmage ever, the coach assigned me to first base. Richard Romani was pitching, a fast pitcher for his age. My friend Charlie was at bat. Richard winds up, he throws the ball, it's a fastball. Charlie hits it, a grounder straight down the middle of the field. Richard Romani snags it, turns to first base, and hurls the ball as fast as he can at me. Now I have to digress here for just a moment. Playing catch with my Uncle Theo in the backyard was a little bit different. He would throw high, easy lobs. It took seconds for the ball to get there. And sometimes I didn't even have to move. I would just hold my glove out and plop. But now back to the Little League tryouts. With that ball coming at me, I got scared. I panicked. And I hit the dirt. Charlie the batter got hit in the back as he ran across first base. The pitcher got mad, he started yelling. Charlie got mad, he started yelling. I looked over the coach, he was just shaking his head and waving me in. And that is when I knew that I wasn't a baseball player. Now, I wasn't a baseball player for two reasons. First of all, I didn't understand the principles of the game. Everybody else was playing baseball, and I was playing dodgeball. And the second thing was I didn't have the adequate practice to qualify me to be a good Little League player. I didn't know the principles of the game, and I hadn't practiced them. And that's exactly how life is. Now, I tell you this story because there are certain principles to life that make the game of life much, much easier. But for most of us, myself included, we weren't taught those principles growing up. We weren't taught principles of successful living. We were taught arithmetic, history, all the other things but how to succeed at life. Now in Unity, we call the vehicle for the principles of successful living and the practice of those principles practical Christianity. Now, practical Christianity isn't a religion. It is not tied to mainline Christianity religion. It has no dogma, it has no creeds, it has no doctrines. It has no hell, it has no guilt, it has no shame. It doesn't depreciate the human experience. It doesn't cast as unworthy any one of us individually. It doesn't have a angry, punishing God somewhere up above looking down at us with a bit of dismay. Practical Christianity is for everybody. You don't have to be a Christian any more than you have to be Buddhist to meditate or you have to be a Hindu to do yoga. Practical Christianity is for everybody. I even have atheist friends who engage in practical Christianity. It's very simple. It's for everybody. But most importantly, practical Christianity does not impress upon you or not urge you to believe anything that cannot be demonstrated in your life. All the myths and all the superstitions and all the other things that have propped upon Jesus' teachings are gone. It is just the basic, fundamental teachings of Jesus and how to practice those in our lives in order to get what we want, which is good. Now, Jesus' teachings are based on three values. Peace of mind. It's the greatest thing we all desire. No matter what is coming at us from life, if we have peace of mind, we're okay. The second value is harmony. It's our most natural state. We come into this world and we have a harmonious disposition towards life. And the third thing is love, the greatest experience that we can possibly have. Practical Christianity is very, very simple. It is to increase the good in our lives and to decrease the bad in our lives, the good being our values, love, peace, and harmony, and the bad being anything that disrupts those three things. Now, the first principle of practical Christianity comes from the 5th chapter of Matthew, where Jesus says, settle with your adversary quickly. Settle with your adversary quickly. Now, an adversary is anything that disrupts, that dismisses, or that diminishes your peace, harmony, and love. It can be a place, it can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be a situation or a circumstance, it can be a problem or it can challenge. An adversary is anything that diminishes what you value in life. It's what takes from you your good and puts in its place something that you deem as bad. Settle with your adversary quickly. Now, the key word there is quickly. Do it soon. Because the more we think about something, the more it expands. What we think about grows. And Jesus knew that if we were angry and we continued to focus on that anger, it would grow. If we're in conflict with another person and we focus on that conflict, it is going to get bigger. If we have fears and worries and anxieties that we dwell upon, our fears, our worries, and our anxieties are going to grow. So quickly is a very elemental thing. Jesus didn't say, go forth and never be angry. He didn't say, go forth and never get into conflict again. He didn't say, go forth and never worry or fear or be anxious. He said, when those feelings come over you, identify your adversary, whatever it is that's causing you to think or react that way, and come to a settlement with it. Now, back in my hometown, the next door lady died, and she had a son and a daughter. And after the funeral, the son and the daughter came together to divide up her possessions. Both the son and the daughter wanted the old piano. They remembered how the mother used to play it, how they would gather around, they'd sing songs. It was just full of wonderful, beautiful memories. They both wanted that piano. The daughter said, I should have it because I took piano lessons, and I've played it more than you. The son said, but my daughter is beginning to take piano lessons, and it would be great if she had Grandma's piano to play on. It went back and forth with no obvious solution, until finally the daughter, one night, had the piano moved from her mother's house to her house. The brother was outraged. The daughter became outraged. They quit attending family functions if they knew the other one was going to be there. Each family wouldn't invite the other one to the special family events such as graduations and birthday parties and anniversaries. The children, cousins, weren't allowed to socialize with each other, and they never talked to each other again. 20 years later, the son died unexpectedly at a relatively young age. And at the funeral, from everybody in attendance, it was the daughter that cried the hardest. Settle with your adversary quickly. Now, you might think that hard to do. There's all sorts of excuses why we can't come to an agreement or we can't come to a settlement with whatever it is that's bothering us. Like, I am right and it is wrong. It shouldn't have happened. I have a right to be angry. It is complicated. It is confused. By God, no, I'm standing my ground. I don't care what happens. It might almost seem impossible to come to a settlement with some of the issues that come up in our lives. But keep in mind, everything else in nature does that, except for human beings. Everything in nature comes to a quick settlement with their adversary. Two dogs get in a fight over a bone. They might growl, they might bark, they might fight it out. But minutes afterwards, they have come to a settled point in their lives and they continue on. Two people get in a fight over a piano and it goes on for 20 years. Settle with your adversary quickly. And it all gets down to, what exactly do you want? When you find yourself upset or disturbed, what exactly does it want? Do you want to be right? Do you want to win the battle? Do you want to put the other person down? You want to stand back and scream and holler and yell because something has happened in your life? Practical Christianity doesn't look at what has happened in the past. It doesn't look at how you were, but rather it focuses on how do you want to be. And it's very, very simple. The next time you find yourself upset, disturbed, you find your peace, your harmony, your love diminished in some way, the first thing is to recognize it. And the second thing is, what is it I want? Do I want what I value, which is peace, harmony, and love? Or do I want to feel this way, mad and angry and upset? Simple question, what is it that you want? And I think everybody in here will agree what we want is good. And what good is what we value. And what we value more than anything else is peace, harmony, and love. Quite simply, when those situations happen, what it means is to give up the anger, the upset, the disturbance for peace, harmony, and love. To give for, or to turn that around to forgive. It doesn't mean you have to forgive somebody for their actions. It doesn't mean you have to forgive a certain situation or circumstance that caused you great pain. It doesn't mean that you have to forgive those situations that cause you a great deal of fear and anxiety. It means you have to forgive the situation as a whole. Forgive your reaction to it. Because no matter how obstinate and obnoxious somebody is out there, no matter how disrespectful they are to you, no matter what you do, you're not going to change them. You don't have any control over them. But what you can change is your reaction to them. It's all about how we react to things. And once again, Jesus didn't say go forth and never be angry. That's a natural reaction of life. We all do that at times. Or we take offense of other people. Or we have fears and anxieties about what might happen in the future. That is a natural reaction. But what Jesus tells us is settle it quickly. As we move into meditation, you might have something in your mind right now that's bothering you. There might be a person that you have a certain degree of unlike or dislike about. You might have worries and anxieties that are bothering you. But you can settle those simply by changing your reaction, changing your perspective to the way you're viewing them. So think about that as we go into meditation. And we're going to go into a place that is quiet. We're going to go into a place that is peaceful. We're going to go into a place that is harmonious, where there is love. And during that time, we are going to move from whatever might be bad in our lives, from whatever we don't want. We're going to move from that to what we do want, to what we value, to what we deem is good. We'll now move into meditation.
presence of the Lord is here in this place among us. And a thread of gentle peace weaves itself about this room and ties us all together. Surely the presence of oneness is in this place. The awareness of our unity with our brothers and our sisters. As we prepare now to practice Christianity, to practice the presence of God, by turning within to the time of silence, we allow ourselves to feel at the very depths of our own being the knowing of the presence of the Lord, the knowing of the presence of love that is not only in this room, but in our own hearts. Love, love is the very essence of our own being. Oneness is the very truth of our existence. And as we enter now into a fuller, more expansive knowing of that eternal truth, we allow ourselves to release any thoughts that it is otherwise. We allow ourselves to release any notion that we have any adversaries in truth. We allow ourselves to release any lingering hurt, pain, resentment. We let it go in the face of the truth that we know. Love. Here now, that is all we know. Oneness, love, as the essence of our own being in the silence. as you gently bring your attention back into the precious space of this room, I invite you to let go even more. Relax even more deeply into the presence of oneness, even as you return your attention back into the space of these multitudes. Let go of the past. Let go of that hurt. And feel the lightness of being lifted into your own knowing of your true self. Allow the movement of spirit within you, the movement of love within you, to bring you fully back into the space of this room. As you open your eyes, allow that love to cast a light about this room, so that you may see your brothers and your sisters as yourself. So that you can reconcile with the perceived enemy and know the other as the one light, the one love, the one spirit that we all are. And allow that love to lighten your footsteps this week as you re-encounter the individuals who might have hurt you in the past. And allow that love to overflow into your encounters. And be well. Amen. Peace I give to you.